The author of this book, Stealing Elections, How Voter Fraud Threatens Our Democracy. John, good to see you.
Pleasure.
You know, ACORN, I mean, you're like target number one. They put you on the front of their website. They accuse you of being on a tirade, and they point out that they've never been indicted for voter fraud or for violating election laws. So what's the issue here?
Well, you talk to former ACORN employees like Greg Hill or Nate Toller, and they will tell you, as former employees, that ACORN has a pattern and practice of telling people, get these voter registrations, we don't care what you do to get them, and there is no quality control. Those are former ACORN employees. They have never been challenged. I wish ACORN would come out and debate these issues, defend their record, explain how they're cleaning up their act. They don't. Instead, when TV producers call them, they hang up the phone on them.
Well, I did an interview with the head of ACORN in Washington State. That's where they had 5 or 6 ACORN workers go to jail.
The biggest voter registration fraud in the state's history was ACORN. They had to pay a large fine. They had to sign a consent decree with the prosecutors explaining how they would improve their practices.
Well, out there, ACORN says, and we've heard this before, well, it's not us. We don't endorse this illegal activity. We're the victim. Do you buy that?
There are 2 ACORN board members that are seeking a court injunction against ACORN demanding financial records, because what happened? The founder of ACORN, Ray Drathke, his brother embezzled $1 million from ACORN, and Mr. Rathke, the founder, chose not to tell the board. They say Mr. Rathke, although he's technically resigned from ACORN, is still running the organization. He's exercising tyrannical control, and ACORN's members are being shortchanged. This is an organization that is at war within itself, Eric. I think they have to clean up their act internally before they go out and collect voter registrations on behalf of the American people.
Yeah, we've asked ACORN for an interview, and we have interviewed an ACORN official, as I said. They say they do good work.
Well, ask them about Mr. Rathke. Is he still running the organization? Because his own board members are suing him.
Well, let's specifically talk about the election and how it may affect that. Earlier, we had James Terry, who is a critic, and I asked him about the fact that the PAC of ACORN endorsed Barack Obama, yet ACORN is a nonpartisan group. How does that work? How can their PAC endorse a candidate, yet they're out there gathering voter registration forms?
Several United States senators say that ACORN is skirting the law. On the one hand, some of their groups are tax exempt. On the other hand, they are practicing partisan political activity. The reason they can do this is ACORN is not just one group, Eric. It's 150 groups operating out of one small office building in New Orleans. They have purposefully confused the mission and the records of all of this group. You can't tell what their left hand is doing and what their extreme left hand is doing.
And good, what a line. Your book, Stealing Elections. Bottom line, I mean, it can happen.
I think there's a 1 in 3 chance we're going to have a Florida-style meltdown in 1 or more states. We're going to have recounts, recrimination, rogue lawyers filing lawsuits. I think there's a 1 in 3 chance we're going to have election day once again turn into election month, Eric. Election month.
Oh, boy. And you know, we're going to be there. A terrific read. John, congratulations on your book. And as you know, folks, if you have any tips or information about voter fraud, you can go get the book, but you can also email us. voterfraud@foxnews.com is our address. We will bring you up to date on all of our voter investigations.